Welcome to The Tech Ranch, live and local here on Super Talk 1270. The latest gadgets, online security, websites and apps, social media, and so much more. How can technology help you? Let's find out. It's time for The Tech Ranch on Super Talk 1270.
From our studios in beautiful Mandan, North Dakota, along the mighty Missouri River, here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
With the holidays coming up, you may want to make a few extra dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that you can have income opportunities using your smartphone? Miss Metaverse Katie Aquino will be joining us to talk about that. We'll also be talking about how to give gifts over the phone. And the CEO of Thinking Chat will be here as well. That's control panel producer extraordinaire, Mr. Jim Walsh.
Well, hello there, Mr. Announcer Person.
How's it going?
Good.
I
had a chance to catch up on my sleep over the weekend. We had a crazy week last week.
Yes, you did. You were doing, what was it, the
96 Hours of Caring. It's a big charity event we do every year here in Bismarck for various organizations. And we're putting in a lot of 18-hour days when we do that.
Wow.
And it was pretty wacky, but it's done now, and we had another good year.
And it was great turnout?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Very good turnout.
So the big question is do you still care? After 96 hours.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding, of course. But, great thing. And, of course, kind of a wild week for our little office as well. We were in Time Magazine last week.
Do tell. I heard about that. Now, this is the issue with the bacon on the cover.
Bacon in the cover, yes.
Bacon on the cover,
So there's two strips of bacon on the cover. We had a humorist. The humorist from Time Magazine actually got a hold of us for National Day calendar.
The humorist from Time Magazine?
Yes. So they actually have a I don't know what you call him. Column humorist? It's just
humor column.
Humor columnist.
Humor columnist.
There we go.
He's a very humorous columnist.
And actually, that was the day that he was trying to get through with us. And I kind of told him that we wouldn't probably have a national day of that, but a National Humor Day would be okay because there is no such thing as a National Humor Day. So he actually asked to see if he could actually sit in on the selection process for national days.
Yeah, what day would you pick as Humor Day?
Maybe
somebody's
question.
birthday, Bob Hope's birthday.
That would be interesting. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. So anyway, he sat in on that process and wrote about it, and it amazes me, how many people have come up to me since that article was out saying, "Hey, I seen you in Time."
How about National Dirty Joke Day?
Well, we're starting to think about...
We have that on Lenny Bruce's birthday.
Yeah.
Or Carlin or whoever.
That's probably the cleanest on the adult side that we get.
Yeah.
We get a lot of...
you get a lot of...
We have over 15,000 requests a year for a national day. Just crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. And we probably add about 30 new ones a year from that 15,000. So kind of crazy. So talk about National Day calendar, everybody, if you haven't figured that out yet. So today, by the way, is National... I'm going to put myself on the spot here. So it's like spam. It is a...
National Spam Day?
No, there is that too.
Oh,
It is a Southern... I can't remember the name of it now. But it is a pork product as well. I'll look it up over the break.
Scrapple, maybe?
That's unbelievable that you know that. That's exactly what it is.
Well, I'm from the East Coast where we eat scrapple.
It's National Scrapple Day today.
Scrapple Day. Pork scraps, basically, is what it is. And they kind of cake it together. It has kind of the consistency of... Well, you make it with bread and some other things, and it has the consistency of like meatloaf, sort of.
And is it kind of a pan-fried thing then?
Yes, pan-fried. You eat it with breakfast.
Okay.
Mostly people eat it like with their scrambled eggs in the morning.
It is a big deal, isn't it?
Like I say, around Philadelphia, Baltimore, the central Atlantic coast.
Okay.
It's very big.
Okay. Interesting. So, that if you ever want to know more about National Day, of course, you can.
And you don't want to know what goes into it.
Probably not. They claim that it's actually the first pork product in the United States.
It's every part of the piggy but the squeal.
Yeah, exactly. So, Hedy Lamarr.
Not Headley.
Not Headley.
Oh, it's Hedy. Okay.
Yes, yeah. The famous actress. Yes. I don't know if you know this or not, but she was bored as an actress and actually invented a lot of things.
I heard, was she the one who was the mathematician?
I'm not sure if she may have been.
Yeah.
But she was certainly an inventor. And the reason I'm bringing it up is that it was her birthday yesterday.
Okay.
And she would have been a 101. And the reason that it is so timely is that some of the technologies that she worked on are things that we use today, like our cell phone and Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. She invented the spectrum that is used for all these devices. And it wasn't even until she invented them during World War II.
Right.
And it wasn't because she wanted to have a way to jam radar, I believe it was, from the submarines, because our submarines were being shot all the time.
Yeah.
Or torpedoed or whatever.
By the U-boats, probably.
Yes, exactly. So she was trying to figure out a way that they could hide their signal or whatever. I need to investigate this a little bit more. But she actually developed this jamming frequency that is now being applied in all of these wireless devices that we use today. It wasn't even widely accepted until 1968, 20 some years after World War II, and then people started to realize that, hey, there's something to this. And she actually was she received an award last year in 2014 as from the National Inventors Hall of Fame in 2014. About all these technologies, including Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So pretty amazing when you think about that.
And she was an actress.
She was an actress. And you just don't think about those two professions going together, do you? An actress or an actor and an inventor.
Well, in recent years, I guess the nearest thing would be our friend Fred Thompson, who just passed away.
Yes.
Who was a lawyer and a U.S. senator and an actor.
Right. It does happen occasionally, but not very often.
A Renaissance person.
Exactly. So, check her out. Hedy Lamarr, her birthday was just yesterday, had a very amazing career, including being an inventor, which I just find very, very fascinating. So have you ever thought about making money with your phone, Jim?
I've thought about it. I would know the first thing about it. I thought about trying to come up with an app, but
okay.
What do you? I'm sure there's something out there I could come up with, but I don't know what it would be.
Well, apps, of course,
that's a smart way of putting it.
Yeah. It's got to be one out there, right?
Well, yeah, there's got to be one out there, and if I could think of it, I would.
Well, apps are obviously one of the ways that you can make money with your phone, but there are a ton of ways that you can make money right now by actually grabbing an app and subscribing and doing all kinds of things that are available. It's called crowdsourcing, and we're going to get into that with Miss Metaverse at the bottom half of the hour. And up next, everybody, Jay with Thinking Chat will be joining us, so come on back.
Currently, it's 36.
News headlines and weather together, live on Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek at facebook.com/The Tech Ranch or Twitter at Guru of Geek or thetechranch.com. Here again is your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
Jim, you do a great imitation of that.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Hey, we want to thank everybody who's joining us across the country and around the world on the Blueberry Network, on the Tech Podcast Network. It's Tech, it's here.
All kinds of options.
Yeah, we're on iTunes, we're on Tuned In, we're on the Roku, Apple TV, and our own app, Radio Pup.
From Town Square Media.
And, of course, we're also streaming live on Meerkat today, and it seems to be going okay today, except for the fact that I'm really, really close to the camera because I have the camera mounted on the back end of the mic
shot
here.
of the hair in your nostrils
so
there.
Pretty much you can see that when I'm talking into the microphone. Now, when I swing it back around, of course, then you can see beautiful Jim behind the console right there. So yeah, if you ever want to see what it looks like inside the studio or whatever, if you go to thetechranch.com and check out the broadcast now icon, you would actually be able to see us. Cool James.
The future's so bright, I gotta wear shades.
Cool James Walsh. Instead of Cool James Brown, it's Cool James Walsh.
All right.
So yeah, very, very cool. So anyway, and joining us on the line, the CEO from Thinking Chat, Mr. Jay Rice. Jay, how you doing?
Pretty good, Marlo.
Hey, excited to have you on the show today. We're going to talk a little bit about Thinking Chat. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the premise behind Thinking Chat and the company and all that good stuff, and then Jim and I are just going to start asking questions.
Hey, that sounds great. So I guess a good way to start is, have you ever fantasized about cloning yourself?
I don't know if fantasizing would be the right word.
I don't know if I'd want to clone myself.
All right, okay. Well,
but yes, I would love to clone myself. There's all kinds of things I'd love to be doing. So, yeah.
Okay, well, I guess the follow-up question is, have you ever been in a sales situation where somebody just wasted your time because they were a tire kicker?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Okay, so if you could just clone yourself and have your clone self deal with all those people, and you just had to deal with the ones that are qualified, would that be something that would be interesting in a sales situation?
Well, I'm thinking that there are many companies out there that would love to be able to have that scenario play out.
Great. Well, that was a lot of the motivation behind Thinking Chat. I was running a business, and that business, like a lot of entrepreneurs, that business was kind of eating me alive, so to speak. Taking too much time. It was very complex industrial imaging equipment that I sold to NASA, the Department of Defense, science companies. Very long sales cycle. I used to call it death by 1,000 questions.
I think there's a title of a book behind that.
Yeah.
Well, I have one in the works, actually.
All right.
That type of, high customer acquisition cost, repeat questions, and, that type of scenario prompted me to come up with something that I could put on autopilot that would answer at least some of the key questions that a customer would ask. And basically, I would only have to work with the qualified prospects. And so that's essentially what Thinking Chat Quick Capture does. It allows you to put something on your website, which is essentially a virtual agent based on our proprietary technology, and you're able to get information from prospective customers, and then you're able to follow up with the most qualified customers at your leisure, and it works on autopilot. And not only that, one of the best things about it is it helps increase your website conversions, which, as you probably know, are dismal across the board.
Yeah, so, I think conversion rates, if you do 1%, you actually are doing very, very well. So are there industries that Thinking Chat would work better with, or is this kind of an across-the-board type of deal?
Well, that's a great question. We've had it work successfully in multiple industries. For example, it's working very well on local businesses that are capturing leads online and then following up. So we've got martial arts schools, we've got wellness centers. It's also working exceptionally well on actually one of my launching customers, which is a microscopy maker of very high-end microscopy equipment that takes their leads from, normally they would take them from contact forms and have their sales force follow up. And they were able to capture a giant sale within the first 90 days for $74,000 from a little tech company called Apple.
Well, that's actually a pretty cool story. So
those guys.
Those
ham and eggers.
So do they? So is this something that after you subscribe to your service that you put together some type of questionnaire that goes onto the website, or how does that process work?
Well, that's a great question. It's essentially pre-scripted for every industry. So we actually, one of our value adds is we just help do that as copywriters and business people. We help fine-tune the agent messages, and there are if-then statements depending on what the website visitor is typing in. But it's a little bit different for every industry, and the goal is really to have a mini conversation, not a long chat about anything. And it's not something that's going to be able to answer every question under the sun, but it's more designed to direct the conversation towards key questions, get key information, and let the website visitor know that, hey, I don't have all the answers, but I'm going to take your information down, send it to the right member of our team, and they're going to follow up with you within 24 hours. Okay,
so after that process, you follow up with them. Is there anything else that happens on the line, or is that when a person physically takes over that conversation?
Well, that's a great question. So all of the transcripts, they go right to your inbox, your email inbox, within 5 minutes.
Okay.
So it's not based on live chat. It's essentially like an automated chat. And the website is thinkingchat.com, by the way, for those listening.
And that's CHAT, just throwing that out there.
Correct. It's thinkingchat.com, and the agent that we're talking about is a quick capture agent that looks like a real person, acts like live chat, but is a completely automated dialogue, which you set up, which we help you set up, and essentially you get all of that information either into your inbox, or if you have a marketing automation tool called Infusionsoft, we actually have written to the API of Infusionsoft, you can get all of that information directly to your CRM, and then you can send out autoresponder emails automatically, so on autopilot.
Wow. So, you even save a little bit of time here then, because you could actually be staffing a live chat scenario here, but because of what you have going on, you don't have to have that going online as well, correct?
Yeah, that's true. Although, I mean, it's a tool that could also work with live chat. I mean, for example, I've often gone to sites that normally have live chat, but it's late, it's after hours. I want to buy, a North Face jacket or whatever,
right.
And the chat is, it's down.
Exactly
and
right. So then you're sending them an email anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing, though, because we talked about it, and as you know, conversion rate is very low. So, I mean, 99 out of 100 people aren't going to take that action to do that. But Thinking Chat, because it's dynamic and because it's engaging, it gets just more of those people to take that action. So that results in a positive ROI for the customers that use the Thinking Chat Quick Capture tool. That's
a very interesting thought, actually, because I will tell you, I'm one of those people. I'm one of those late night type of people, actually, and nothing is more frustrating than going to a website that actually has a chat option and the chat is closed.
Right.
They should almost, if they don't have a system like yours, I've always thought about this, they should actually just say that it's not available right now instead of you clicking on it and going through that process of filling in your name and your email address and stuff. And then they tell you at that time, because I know they're trying to capture the information, but very frustrating for the customer.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, a lot of what we do, we preface, to the website visitor that how long it's going to take for a human to follow up, or we capture key information. We can ask them things about the urgency of their inquiry, things like that, which really gives the person comfort that even though they might not get 100% of their questions answered, somebody will be contacting them. And so that lets the person cross off of their mental checklist the need to actually, keep searching for what they were looking for.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really a great premise there, Jay. So, is it a subscription based on the business side? How does that work?
Yeah, it is. So it's a software as a service. So there's no software to install on a computer per se. It's all in the cloud. It runs on our servers. And so there's basically a setup, and then there's a monthly, hosting fee. And we basically we don't have any long-term contracts at this time, unless you were to pre-buy a year.
Okay.
So it sets up very easily. It's a Java snippet for the tech people out there. So it goes up very easily, and you have a dashboard, and you can update the agent information in the dashboard, and then automatically updates on the site.
Hey, that sounds pretty easy. Jim, any questions?
I'm good. I'm just trying to follow along here.
Yeah. that would be on the non-tech side, of course.
Right.
We give Jim a bad time. He's actually known as the tech geezer here, Jay. So if you have something that would be old, he would probably fall right into that.
Okay. Well, the good news is this whole concept is designed around just really it's a lead capture tool. And you don't need to know anything about technology in order to use it, because me and my team, we make it easy for you. We take care of all of that.
Well, that's good news for me.
All you need to do is just know what you would want to ask a potential customer, and what you would like to get for information. We take care of the rest.
All right. You got about 30 seconds left, Jay. Do you have one more maybe real-world experience you can throw at us?
Let's see. Yeah. So basically, this works so well. One of my customers had it on their site, and his wife, he didn't tell his wife. And she went on the site, and she's engaging with his virtual agent, asking him if he's going to pick up the kids.
That's fantastic. It really is. So tell us again where we can find more information about your service.
Absolutely. It's www.thinkingchat.com. And if you go to the Quick Capture Agent, and there's an opt-in form there to get more information. And if anybody signs up who is listening, I'll make sure that I give them the special rate, which is a significant discount from the monthly rate.
Oh, great. I'll include that link on the Tech Ranch as well, everybody. All right, everybody. Thanks again, Jay. I really appreciate it. All right, after the break, everybody, Miss Metaverse and I will be talking about how you can make money with your phone. So come on back.
Currently, it's 36.
On the web, on the go, everywhere. supertalk1270.com.
We're back to the Tech Ranch. Stream this program now at supertalk1270.com. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
Got to keep that up, Jim. Let people see what you're doing now. I just switched the camera back to you. All right. Little John Travolta going on.
Yeah. By way of Adam West.
The Tech Ranch has the best music in the industry. I got to tell you, I love our music. Anyway, we're going to talk about how you can make money with your smartphone. I know the holidays are right here, and we are actually, people at this time, you start thinking about, all right, I got all these Christmas gifts I need to buy or whatever. I got to spend a couple $1,000s. Maybe my kids want a new PlayStation, whatever. And you're like, there's got to be, am I going to take on an extra job to handle this? Am I going to put a little more debt on my credit cards? Most people don't want to do that, so they would rather figure out a way to do this. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you can probably do some crowdsourcing things to make a couple extra bucks. And joining us on the phone, Miss Metaverse, Katie Aquino. Katie, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Marla. How are you doing?
Doing fine, too. So the task this morning was to come up with unique ways that you can make money with your smartphone. And I'm guessing you probably have a little bit of a list.
Yes, there's actually a lot more out there than I actually originally thought. I didn't realize there's so many different ways to make money using your phone, so it's pretty interesting. There
really are, and I think most people are going to kind of get a kick out of the things that you can do to make a couple extra bucks. And I guess I'm going to qualify that a little bit more. We're probably going to throw some things in there about how you can make some extra money with your computer as well in this list. So if you don't have a smart device, you can still find out ways about how you can make money sitting at home, making, doing whatever for people on there too. So we're kind of going to get into this a little bit. And speaking of computers, the first one I have is Mechanical Turk. And it's T-U-R-K. Do you have this on your list, Katie?
No.
Okay, so Mechanical Turk, it's actually owned by Amazon, and it is probably one of the best crowdsourcing sites that you can have out there. They have a variety of jobs. So if you're an Amazon person and you have a task that you need somebody to do, and generally this is companies that have these tasks out there, but they'll have a task like, check out this code for me if you're a programmer, or maybe you need to have somebody verify facts for you for a blog or whatever. People will list these jobs out there, and if you're a fact checker, for example, or a proofreader or any of those type of things, you can go on Mechanical Turk and sign up for these jobs. They have over 200,000 listings right now. 200,000.
Wow.
It's absolutely amazing, and you can build up credit. Some of them pay you by the job. Some will pay you with Amazon Bucks. So if you want to maybe do your shopping that way, you could do that as well. So it's really an interesting way to do that. So I would certainly check out Mechanical Turk. And again, we're going to have a list of all of these. Jim's got it up right now, in fact.
Yay.
Taking a look at it. It's really kind of a nondescript type of website. And but it is one of those things, and I will say, like most Amazon type of things, a little convoluted. It's not, everything's not real up front. I've always found that with not so much Amazon.com, but there's side gigs you could talk about, I guess, like when you're using S3 or whatever. It's probably not.
It's an Amazon company, by the way.
It is an Amazon company.
Yeah,
yep.
It says right there.
All right. So there you go. What is on your list as the first thing up there, Katie?
Well, one thing I didn't know that actually exists out there is that you could get paid just by downloading and keeping apps on your phone.
Okay, I guess I've never heard of that either.
Right. So I found that there's a number of companies, including Google, and what they do is they pay you to install their app on your cell phone, and then they pay you for every month that you keep them installed on your phone. And what they do is these apps, they collect data from your cell phone, and they help companies better understand your web and mobile usage better. So such as what times of day people browse and how long they stay on your different websites and use apps and things like that. So, I always say that data is the new oil, and this is just the result of that. We're going to be seeing more and more ways for people like us all, to be able to make money just by collecting data on what we like and things we do.
Yeah, absolutely. So is there a particular website that you can go to download these particular types of apps, or you just kind of search for them? Or
well, we will be listing them ourselves, like you mentioned before. We're going to be making a list of all these apps so everyone can go and check them out. There isn't one specific website to get them all because there's different companies that are offering it. So one is called Smart Panel, and you can go find out about Smart Panel on vertosmart.com. So it's vertosmart.com, and it's a little bit not that easy to remember, but we'll be putting all this online.
Yep.
And this is great because it says once you've qualified and you download the app, they pay you $5, and then you keep it installed for at least 2 weeks. Then you'll earn another $10, and for every month that you keep the Smart app installed, you get another $5. So you can earn up to $75 for the first year, which doesn't seem like anything. I mean, it's so low. But at the same time, there's a lot of different apps out there. So by the end of the day, just by downloading apps, you could easily earn at least $400 a year just through apps alone.
Interesting. So, all right. And, next on my list, and of course, everybody, we will have a list of these on the Tech Ranch. And Katie, where will you have your list at?
I am relaunching my website today.
Okay.
I promise. It's been an ongoing joke. Like, my website's coming back. It's almost done. But for real, futuristmm.com is relaunching today. Be there or be square.
All right. So go check that out as soon as Katie launches that again today, futuristmm.com. My next one, and these are, this is nothing new, I guess, but if you have a car and you want to make a couple extra dollars, of course, you can sign up to be a Lyft driver, a Uber driver, any of these type of devices or types of ride-sharing type of apps that are out there. There's others, too, that are not as popular as those two. But, if you needed to make a couple extra dollars and you want to do it on your own time, and that's kind of the thing about crowdsourcing jobs, is that the general thing with this is that it's done on your time, so you're not really working on somebody else's schedule. And that's the thing about Lyft and Uber, is that you don't have to be working from noon to 5 or whatever. If you're a driver, you just turn the app on and says, hey, I'm ready to drive right now.
Ready to roll.
Yeah,
okay.
And that's how that works. So if you only have from 6 to 8 in the evening or whatever, you can do that. And these drivers actually make pretty good money, don't they, Katie?
They do. They really do. And anyone can be a part of these things. There's so many different ways that people are able to get involved with their community and also make money like this. I mean, did you see that Roadie app the other day? That was interesting, too.
Roadie is interesting as well, yes. And I will have an announcement in a week or two about a new one that we're developing that a person will be able to make a couple dollars while they're traveling as well. But yeah, Roadie, why don't you talk about Roadie a little bit?
Well, it's the first of its kind, and I like the first of many things. They're not always so great, but the idea is interesting. Roadie is an app that it's local people, that anybody can sign up and become a driver. And the concept is taking away the whole shipping process, making it local, and they call it, in quotes, neighbor-to-neighbor shipping network. So let's say if I'm driving to, let's say, a town an hour away from me, I could go on the app and find somebody along the way and pick up their package and bring it to the destination because it's on my route, and also I can help them get their package to the desired destination.
Yeah, and probably the biggest thing with Roadie is that, maybe it's an odd-shaped type of thing or difficult to put in a box or whatever. So, but if you have a pickup or a van or something that's moving from one place to the other, you can actually pick those things up and make a couple extra dollars while you're doing that.
Right.
So, I don't see something like Roadie taking the place of a FedEx or a UPS or our postal service for general stuff.
Yeah.
But those unusually, and the other thing, and I think they use this a lot, you find something on Craigslist or eBay or whatever, and it's kind of one of those things that they are only going to allow to be picked up locally. And you see a lot of this. I was looking for a wide format printer on eBay the other day and couldn't find anybody local, so I'm looking on eBay, and of course most of those, because they're so large, they won't ship them. They just won't ship them at all, so they want to sell them locally. This is kind of that conduit, a way for you to actually maybe not be there and allow somebody to pick it up locally and bring it to you.
Right, exactly.
So,
a few years ago, I had an electronic keyboard in my hometown, and I wanted to get it shipped out here.
Okay.
And by the time I figured out the price for it, I was just as well off going to a pawn shop and getting a new one.
And that's generally how it is with those type of things. So this kind of, and I think with Rode and maybe other things that'll be popping up, you can negotiate that price a little bit too. So if it's worth $100 to you to get it out here, maybe somebody will pick it up for $100 and bring it along with them. So that's the wonderful thing about that. So. Yeah. So, okay. Next on my list, how are we doing for time there, Mr. Jim?
We got about a minute.
Okay. So I have Gig Walk. Are you familiar with Gig Walk?
No.
Okay. So what happens a lot of times, and I know we're going to go over the break here, but
that's fine.
What happens is you have companies that I'm sure you're familiar with smart shoppers. You go into a place, a restaurant, whatever, and you want to, You go buy a meal, and then they'll compensate you in exchange for
Secret shopper.
Secret shopper. There you go. Thank you.
My wife has done that.
This is similar to that, and there's a lot of these type of apps out there, and a lot of opportunities. And I guess we'll just go on the other side of the break to continue this, Jim.
Okay. Sure.
But on the side of the break, everybody, we'll talk about Gig Walk, Field Agent, and others, where you can get paid to go eat, to drink a beer, and go shopping. So come on back.
Currently, it's 43.
Wherever you are, Supertalk 1270 is there at supertalk1270.com. The Radio Pulp app, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Supertalk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
We're having way too much fun with cameras today, Jim.
Oh, okay. Well, why? Did you catch me doing something?
Well, no, but I was being stupid over here.
Fingering my nose or something?
Just dancing away to the music over here. So want to thank everybody for joining us, of course, on Meerkat. If you want to see what the studio looks like or what we look like, which is probably a scary thing, actually.
We both have a face for radio.
Yeah, we do. And, of course, they're really seeing me close up here. In fact, I think you could see the hairs in my nostrils.
Now, Katie, if you could see Katie, that would be cool.
We'll have to work on that, actually. Yeah. She would probably draw a few people
Katie's
to the show.
Katie's a babe. So. She's very futurific to look at.
She's probably blushing 40 shades of red right now, Jim. So. Because I know that's how she is. But anyway, of course, on the phone with me, Miss Metaverse Katie Aquino herself. And we're talking about how you can make money using your smartphone. Money. And, of course, it's a big thing this holiday season.
Yeah.
We're all going to be spending a couple extra dollars. And we're always looking for ways to make money. The thing with making money with your phone generally is that you get to work on your own time.
Right.
So if you have a couple hours on weekends, if you got something in the evenings, whatever you want, there's all kinds of opportunities to do that. And we were just talking about Gig Walk and another app called Field Agent. And basically, if you go get these apps, if you like beer, for example, I'm just going to throw that out there.
I like beer.
What'll happen is a company will state that they want to check in on if the beer is being served at the right temperature, if the signage is proper or whatever. So what'll happen is you'll go in there and you'll order a beer.
To a local watering hole.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And they'll pay you up to $7. I'm just thinking about one gig in particular to have that beer, plus another $8 to fill out the little survey. So you'll get $15 to go and have a beer someplace. And if you have the app, it'll show you the different gigs that you got going on in your area right now. And one of them might be where you go to a super center or whatever to make sure that the product that they want to check on is properly displayed and that the pricing structure is the way they want it to be or whatever. So there's all kinds of things that you can do. And generally these things will raise, you make $4 to $15 for each of the gigs that they do. So
now, how quick is the turnover on the money?
That's what's wonderful about most of these gigs. Now, I'm not sure about Uber and Lyft, but these that I'm talking about here, if you have a PayPal account, you'll usually have your money within a couple days, and some of them just a couple of hours.
Damn.
So you'll get paid.
I was thinking it would be like, you pay for the beer and you send us the receipt, and in 3 to 5 years we'll get back to you.
Right. No, actually, because of the technologies in the phone, you take a photo, for example, of you having a beer or the beer that's on your table or whatever. the capability of your phone is to geotag that photo, and that sends it to them, so they know that you're sitting in the Blarney Stone or whatever right now, and so they have proof.
Peacock Alley. Whatever.
That's exactly right. Yeah. That they have proof that you're there, and you fill out the questionnaires, and usually it's just did you like was the service well? Was the temperature of the beer the way you expected it to be? Yes or no? I mean, these things are not questions that you have. It's not an essay type of thing. It's just yes or no, or a couple multiple choice type of deals. So a great way to make money, and I would certainly check these things out. Any comments, Katie?
Yeah, well, the term that you want to look up if you want to get into this type of work, it's called being a secret shopper. And back in the day, right? Being a secret shopper meant that maybe you found this job in the paper, or, you wouldn't find it online because there hardly was an internet, right?
Right.
So nowadays, like you're right, it's different now. Being a secret shopper, you can make a lot of money, and it is being different now. In a way, you have different opportunities, and I think it works better for both ends now that we have the technology for both the, company to be able to check to make sure you actually did it and participated, and on the other end, there's more opportunities thanks to this technology for those who want to get into it. So I think it is great.
Well, I think it's lower cost for companies to get into it now because it's technology based, instead of sending things via email and having all that staff that goes with that, or I shouldn't say email, but regular mail. Now everything's done online, and payment processes can be quick. The results, I mean, you could have something that you have a program that only lasts for a week because you want to see if the beer is being distributed in all the different places, and you want to just have that gig going for a week. A secret shopper, that's difficult to do in that time frame in traditional methods, but with using your smart device, it can be accomplished, and they have all the data back right away.
Right.
Right. So there's a lot of different jobs out there you can get into. And did you know, just really quick, I really want to get this one in here.
Okay.
There's a job called a search engine evaluator. Have you ever heard of that?
No, not at all.
No.
So I was doing some research for our show today, and I found this online. It was interesting. Companies like Google and Bing and Yahoo, they pay people. You could actually get a job that ranges and actually be on salary between $12 and $15 an hour. You can research and find how you can apply to have this job, and it looks really interesting. What you do is it says that search engines use complicated algorithms to determine how we get our search results. So let's say if I were to Google Marlo Anderson, and the Google search will show up over 500,000 different websites, but only a couple will be relevant.
Right.
What your job will be is to evaluate which links are accurate, what photos are accurate. So this way you're helping the search engines better themselves and refine the algorithms so everyone has a benefit from this.
Interesting. So, and you just type in search engine evaluator in your search engine to find these particular type of jobs?
Yeah, so I believe it's through, I know that Google does it, so you can apply for a job through them. And how it works is that so you apply for the job, and then you have to pass I think it's like an online test that they give you, like a qualification test.
Okay.
And then you do like a phone interview, and then once you're hired, then you'll be making between $12 and $15 an hour to clean up Google's mess.
Wow. That's pretty cool too. Yeah, and you can work your own hours and all that good stuff, just like all the other things we're talking about here.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Yeah, that's very, very cool. How about TaskRabbit? Are you familiar with TaskRabbit?
No.
Okay, so TaskRabbit is just like it sounds. Jim is terrible at wrapping packages. He's actually shaking his head, yes. I'm the world's worst, by the way. I mean, the gift bag was made for me. That's all I have to say about that, because I cannot wrap a package to save myself. So it's terrible. But if I want to hire somebody to do this, I can go to TaskRabbit, put my job out there, and then because Katie is great at wrapping packages, she can take that gig. And there are hundreds of thousands of jobs available right now on TaskRabbit, and a lot of them are, we were talking about this earlier about copy editing, like if somebody's doing blogging, for example, you want
Right.
somebody that goes through and fact checks and things like that. A lot of those type of jobs, by the way, that are out there. And that's becoming a huge growing industry. There was a one time people were throwing things out there on blogs that really didn't care whether or not the facts were correct or not. That has changed. People are now.
Okay.
It's like the new journalists now. I mean, it used to be that newspapers would fact check and all this other stuff. They probably don't do it as much as they probably should anymore. And blogging has become that new thing. So
it's kind of like Wikipedia, where everybody weighing in, they kind of keep each other honest
yes,
on the facts.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. So that's what's going on with that. So there's all kinds of opportunity to make a couple dollars doing those type of things. And with TaskRabbit, if you have any skills at all, I mean, it might be we're in bicycle repair, it might be whatever. I mean, everybody has talents. Whether or not you're employed with that talent is one thing, but you can probably make a couple dollars with that talent using things like TaskRabbit.
Oh, wow. I'm looking at this right now. And Marlo, seriously, you just made my day. Thank you so much for sharing this.
I only want 10% of everything you make, Katie, so.
Seriously. I mean, it is so hard. Let's get real here for a second. It is so hard to find people to help you, whether it be a contractor and somebody just to come and help you around the house. And for me, I mean, being a mom and being home, it's hard to do everything on your own, and you need help sometimes.
Sure.
And sometimes contractors are hard to find, so this looks cool.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. So I think there's a great opportunity for both people who need to get things done and people who need to make a couple extra dollars. TaskRabbit is absolutely wonderful. So what do you got next for us, Katie?
So we were talking about being able to make money by writing online.
Yeah.
So I made a couple lists of different websites that you can make some money doing some freelance writing. And the top of my list is Listverse.
Spell that
Have you heard
out.
of that? It's Listverse. Listverse.
Okay.
And so a lot of these websites, the way they work is that either you get paid by making lists of things or you get paid by writing a specific article on a specific topic. So Listverse, you get $100 for each accepted post. And the article must be a list. So it could be like top 10 groceries that I can't live without.
Wow.
And it must have up to 1,500 words, and it must include at least 10 things on it.
Okay, I've got the website up right now, and I'm looking at some of the categories, like 10 obscure facts about Charlie Brown and the Peanuts Gang, probably trivia about Charles Schultz or the characters or whatever, facts about the Russian Civil War. That should give you some idea as to the gamut of topics that you could find here. I love this idea. This is something I could get into.
This is something you would be very good at,
I'm a
Jim.
trivia nut.
Yes. Yeah, you'd be
know.
fantastic at this.
Yeah, definitely.
So they will pay you up to $100, or is it just a flat fee of $100?
I believe it's just $100 for each accepted post is how it works.
Well,
So-
there are several sites like this. Cracked.com is another one.
They
look for the weird stuff and the goofy stuff.
Okay.
I don't know if it's related to Cracked Magazine, which is sort
Right.
of like the Poor Man's Mad Magazine.
Right.
But their articles, they do have kind of a weird, goofy twist to them.
ABC News.
Yep.
Super.